of 1864, replaced 2 veteran units that escorted the first prisoners down here. I'm going to talk about a little bit about what we have on, a little bit about a soldier's life, and go through a couple of firing demos. It's going to be interesting with only 3 rifles, but we'll do it. About time. Overslept. He was walking across where I told him, he said, "This is Murray." By this time of the war, of course, the Georgia Reserves that were here really saw no combat experience. It was mostly, I'm not cutting myself down here, but mostly old men and young boys. Never seen battle. They really didn't want to be here either. Of course, definitely the prisoners didn't want to be, but the guards didn't want to be here guarding them as well. But most of the Confederate regiments, when they were raised, consisted of about 10 companies at the beginning of the war, 100 men per company. So to kind of give an idea of the numbers of soldiers that would be on a Civil War battlefield, just looking at one side, about 100 men per company, 10 companies per regiment, 3 to 5 regiments per brigade, 3 to 5 brigades per division, 4 to 6 divisions per corps, and 3 to 5 corps per army. So hundreds of thousands of men on the battlefield. The Civil War casualties were extremely high because of the weapons they used and the tactics. It was still based on Napoleon-era tactics, where it put shoulder to shoulder and just fire as much lead down range as possible. The problem is, those tactics were based on the smoothbore musket. Very inaccurate. Maybe 50 yards total for accuracy for those. Beyond that, it was, you've heard the term, couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. Well, it comes from firing a smoothbore musket. I could aim one at that stockade wall. Now, it might hit the wall. It might go flying over it. It may hit the ground 10 feet in front of me. The problem is, come to the Civil War, they're using the same tactics. Weapons are deadly accurate up to several hundred yards. They do have rifling in them. One of the longest shots recorded during the Civil War was at the outset of the Battle of Spotsylvania. General John Sedgwick, a federal general, was making fun of his men for hiding or cowering down from Confederate sharpshooters. He said they couldn't hit an elephant at this distance. A few seconds later, a Whitworth bullet went through his head. It was just shy of a mile for that. Of course, in that instance, that sharpshooter actually had a scope, which was very rare for the Confederates because they used metal to make up the things with. A lot of it was just having the skill and using Kentucky windage, using pitching and wind and distance and all for the target. Now, the balls, the ammunition that these fired was a mini ball about this big, made of soft lead. Now, modern bullets, you get hit with it, it'll ricochet around your body before it comes out. A lot of people think there are a lot of amputations during the Civil War because of the fact that they didn't know how to restructure bone. They had that medical knowledge, but the problem is the mini ball does a lot like when you put a quarter on the railroad tracks. It flattens out when the train runs over it, right? Well, a mini ball, when it hits the body, it flattens out some and continues going. It takes the bone and everything out with it. So they knew how to restructure bone, but there wasn't any bone left to put back together. About what we have on. Today is the 1st Georgia Reserves. We do have a lot of civilian elements to our uniform. The frock coat I'm wearing is a civilian frock coat. Yours is a civilian as well, correct? Yes, sir. Civilian sack coat he has here. Several different shades and colors with the uniforms. A lot of that was a personal preference. Some Confederate issue, but being reserves, most of it was things we brought from home. In addition to Enfield and rifled muskets like these, guards here had shotguns and old flintlocks they brought from home also. Right face. Of all the things both he and I have on, what do you think is the most important item?
Canteen.
Very good, canteen. Got to have reliable water. That was a problem here for the guards as well, more so for the prisoners. The Stockade Creek down there, which they refer to as the sinks, that's where they got their water from, that's where they bathed, and that was also the latrines. That's why a lot of disease ran rampant through the camp. Also, the Confederate cookhouse was on the far side of the camp upstream. So the refuse from that went into the creek before it ever got inside to where the prisoners could get it. Now, on the campaign march, the Army is actually fighting the war. You'd stop at a creek, river, lake to refill your canteens. They didn't know a whole lot about hygiene. So you could be filling your canteen up in the water, and upstream there's hundreds of other guys doing other things. A lot of the disease was transmitted that way. And disease actually killed more people during that war than bullets. Throwing a lot of people in together from different areas of the country, hadn't been exposed to different things. A lot of the men died before even facing an enemy for the first time. Left face. Left face. Cartridge box here, where they kept their ammunition. Inside are metal tins. They hold 40 rounds. They have 2 tins in there. And the top would be what was called arsenal packs, ripped open so they could access the rounds. And then when they ran out of ammunition, they'd have to pull these tins out, and at the bottom would be a wrapped up arsenal pack that they would then take out, slip in the top, rip it open, and they're ready to fire again. The problem is most of the time they were doing that under fire. Occasionally the regiment was pulled out of line, but most of the time they were still under fire while they're doing this. This small pouch here has a firing caps, which all of us I'm sure have played with a toy cap gun before, right? It's a little charge light that when the hammer falls creates a pop and a spark. These work a lot the same way. It's a brass cap, and the inside is a little bit of fulminated mercury. We'll be able to show you how all that works, but when the hammer falls on it, on the cone, it creates a spark. It shoots through a little channel at the bottom of the barrel, which sets the charge off inside. Now these weapons are all muzzle loaders, one shot at a time. A Civil War soldier was trained to load and fire 3 times in 1 minute. So to do that, they pull the cartridge out of the cartridge box, tear it open with their teeth, pour the powder down the barrel, push the ball into the end of the barrel, pull the rammer, which is this here, ram it down in the barrel, return the rammer, put the cap on it, and fire. The whole time you're getting shot at and people going down around you. Now the men that are standing next to you in ranks, unlike, have any of you served in the modern military? So you get close to the guys in your squad or platoon. So I'm not saying death in modern military is any worse. But these gentlemen, they signed up with their brothers, their fathers, their uncles, childhood friends. So it's people they've known all their life that they saw dying around them as they're trying to keep a clear head and continue fighting. The bayonet is obviously used for close combat. They only used usually for when they first went into each other. There's a reason for that. This will wound. Guaranteed it'll wound a soldier. Show them the butt of your musket. That will shatter a skull. They tended to use that as a club more than this. In addition, when you get hundreds of men in close contact with each other, you don't have the space to swing those muskets. So it resorts to fists, canteens, rocks, anything they can get their hands on. It's very personal. There's a lot more other uses for this. Anybody want to take a guess?
Dig.
Definitely digging. Digging trenches. They dig very well. I've dug a fire pit with mine. So I don't have it right now, but mine actually has a slight bend in it from digging. Any other ideas?
Cooking meat.
Definitely cooking. What about candle holder? Works great. The wax will pop right off of it. The really morbid use for this is after a Civil War battle, there'll be thousands of bodies to bury. Usually small burial details, trying to get it done quickly. I'm sure you've all seen what a deer looks like on the side of the road after it's been hit in the summer. It's not pretty. So a lot of the thousands of extra bayonets laying on the battlefield, they would take some, put them in a fire, bend them into a hook those into the bodies, and that's how it works. the headgear was designed after the French kepi. Looks is what you recognize as a baseball cap. Very small hat with very small leather brim. As the war progressed, soldiers found out that hats like this were a lot more useful. Kept the sun off the face better, kept the rain from going down your back, down the inside of your jacket. But again, the headgear was also personal preference. As you can see, there's several different styles, some military issue, and possibly even some taken from a prisoner when they were brought in. Hey, I like your hat better, I'll just take it. A lot of the stuff that the prisoners brought in here, knapsacks, blankets occasionally, the guards took. So the prisoners inside really didn't have a whole lot to help protect them against the elements or even build the shebangs that they're in there with. There were instances of the Sanitary Commission up north trying to send uniform and blankets to the prisoners here. Problem is that there's several thousand, at its height 32,000 prisoners in this stockade. The amount of uniforms and blankets they sent was very minimal. And there was a fear if they tried to give them to some of the prisoners, it would create a riot from the other prisoners wanting them. So the guards kept them. So it was really pissed off the prisoners when they would look up in the guard tower and see a guard standing there with a fresh blue jacket. Where did you get that? Oh, your guys from up north sent it. Thank you. Now, let me go through and show you a couple of firings. Load. We will turn them the other way. They're not going to shoot at you. Although it is just blank. Imagine the line extending on down. A regimental line could cover several hundred yards. That many rifles going off, the amount of smoke and noise on the Civil War battlefield was tremendous. A lot of the times they were actually just shooting at other flashes in the smoke across the field. Fire by company. Ready. Aim. Fire. Load. One big problem with everybody firing at once. Now the enemy knows you're unloaded, and they're coming. About the only time that type of fire was used was in the initial engagement. After that, they resorted to different styles. One, which I don't have enough gentlemen to show you, was a fire by file. We actually started on one end of the company, and each two men in a row, front to back, is a file, front and rear rank. So the first two men would fire, then the next two, and the next two. And as soon as they fire, they would start reloading and firing as fast as they can. There was no command at the time of the Civil War to fire at will. It was to give them a fire by file, and then they would continue independent fire. The next one we're going to do is fire by rank. As I mentioned, if all of them go off at once, everybody's unloaded, and the enemy knows it. So now we do fire by rank. The rear rank will fire first. The front rank will still be loaded and ready to repel the enemy if they charge. Fire by rank.